Hello guys, this is Jerry speaking. Welcome to Book Reviews, episode 21. And finally, after 5 years in the making, we finally got finished reading the book called Street Gang. Now, I read the entire book, and it took me 5 years in the making for reading this book, so let's get started in the final thoughts, shall we? So we got Areta. The final errors, put it in the paperback second edition of the book. On page 1, Davis misstated the year that Frank Oz joined the Muppets. Sitting there by was Frank Oz, who in 1969, Sesame's debut year, became Henson's part age, have joined the Muppets right out of high school. Wow. On page 84, however, Davis states the year correctly 6 months after Celine's arrival, i.e. 1963. In chapter 5, page 80, Davis writes, down the years, Jane Henson famously how the name Muppet was derived in the module of marionette and puppet. A similar claim appears in the 1993 book, The Jim Henson The Works, which I'll get back to that some other time, which Davis refers 6 times in the chapter. Yeah. However, the 2003 Washington Post article cites Jane Henson's spots in the subject. Puppeteer Jane Henson has said her husband just like with the word. In page 140, features a photo of Jess Moss and Cookie Monster, with the caption, Cookie Monster owns the extensions. The Jess Moss head writer of the character was introduced. Joan Stowe was the head writer for this first season, which is good enough. Moss replaced him of the following season. The error was corrected in chapter 16 in page 255. Page 221. The footpad says that Joan Stone took over as executive producer of Sesame Street, which David Connell and Seb Gibbon began working with the Electric Company. Connell was still the executive producer of Sesame Street when the Electric Company started its first season. Stone replaced Connell on Sesame Street in season 4 when Gibbon became executive producer of the Electric Company in season 2. On page 244, Dave gave us a mistaken explanation of the term right-handing, sometimes referring as doing right hands and right hands. The restoration, but necessarily taking operating with the wide to control the arm of the character that's not being multiplied by a main performer is called right hand. Although this is obviously true, right-handing is such a reuse of reference to the live-hand Muppets rather than hand-rod Muppets. Page 246 to 247 talks about the explosion of Cookie Monster, saying that the Cook character's personality was terminated after game show sketch ended in him choosing Cookie as a prize. However, Cookie Monster did not appear in that sketch. The monster who did, however, appear in was Beautiful Day Monster. Page 248, incorrectly refers Roosevelt Fragrance friend, same sounds Brown as Sam Sound Brown. Page 276 talks about a special Sesame Street Christmas mentioning that Leslie Uggams, Alpha Marvin, and Algernon Coco was all area guests in the Muppet Show before top names talent before began flocking in the syndicated show after the first season. America Collin never appeared in the Muppet Show. When Uggams began to guest star in the season 3, at which point the show was already a hit. On page 327, listed enriching progressive groundbreaking series that Dave Connell wrote as executive producer for Lisa's Out to Lunch was not a series but a TV special. Which I agree. Page 332, and Carrera states that Norman Stiles joined the Sesame Street writing staff in 1969. He joined in 1971 for the first show's first season. And that'll be it for my criticism about Street Gang. Now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the 2009 through 2020 now, about the milestones and Sesame Street story arcs and episode recycle plots. 2009 was a Sesame Street partners with USAID and launched Sesame Street Presents The Adventures of Amy and Big Bird, an outreach effort to provide research about HIV positive and AIDS to Nigerian children and caregivers. Wow. Coming Home Maternity Families Cope with Climate Change airs April 1st on PBS. The special tells the story of service members who return home with injuries, visible and invisible, and explores the heroic struggles with families and face and discovering a new way of finding a new normal. It's hosted by Queen Latifah and Elmo, featuring John Mayer. Summer Gay, a new Sesame Street block premieres in Denmark with original Danish material Danish Elmo. Wow. Sesame Street wins 122nd Daytime Emmy Award and is honored the Lifetime Achievement Emmy from Natas. Wow. Celebrated its 40th anniversary, as I mentioned in the book, with launching the new season. It was actually 4 years to this day. The premiere on November 10th, 2009. Sesame Street marketed the commercial book, which I'll have to read some other time, and DVD set. As well as a Link Wall takeover the Google logo. Michelle Obama, First Lady, plans to guard with Elmo Big Bird on Sesame Street. 2010, when Family Grieves airs April 14th PBS. Special presents story of families coping with the death of a parent as Elmo Skip Families deals with the death of Uncle Jack. Wow. Season 41 addresses the process of specific investigations with 13 shows focusing on this topic. One of the main cultural goals encourage children to think systematically in the model the ceramic process. Wow. Okay. 2011. The documentary Being Elmo, A Puppeteer's Journey, debuted on the Sundance Film Festival. The film focused on the life and career of puppeteer Kevin Clash. Wow. The show's boys' second season debuted in September, teaching lessons based on the show's new STEM curriculum to teach science. Wow. The video game Once Upon a Monster debuts on Xbox Kinect. Then in 2012, Sesame Workshop and Microsoft launched Kinect Sesame Street TV for the Xbox Kinect system, allowing viewers to interact with the program and characters while watching specially created episodes in the show. While the demise in the show's fourth season, Elmo was replaced with a new segment, Elmo the Musical. Sesame Street received national media attention when President candidate Mitt Romney mentioned Big Bird in the president debate, which I felt worried for Big Bird and Jim Lair at the time. Little Woman, Little Children's Big Challenges Divorce is delayed release online. Special resource by Bill presents strategies for families and children coping with divorce, as advocate Debbie deals with divorce and her parents. Yeah, and I think Kevin Clash, I've left the project after so many years after that. Now, 2013 has been a long journey for Sesame Street. Now, he's become the first non-profit YouTube channel and is the first U.S. children's media outlet to reach 1 billion viewers. Wow. Real Children Big Challenges and Accreditation is released online, providing support to kids who has one more parents in jail. Wow. Season 44 debuts, focus on Hispanic culture, as well as exclusive functioning skills. The season also introduced a new human character, Amando, a new Cookie Monster segment. 2014, the documentary I Am Big Bird premieres at Canada's Hot Docs Festival. Highlights the life and career of the longtime Sesame Street puppeteer Carol Spinney. Sesame Street hosted its first panel at San Diego International Comic-Con. Wow. Virtual Hotel, UK co-production to be on the BBC in Europe and YouTube in the United States. And 2015 came when Sesame Amigos, an American-based spin-off of the Sesame Spanish language series, Process Sesamo, debuted in the United States on Univision. Sesame Street and autism, which I've been diagnosed with autism ever since I was 18 months old, seen amazing in all children, and this of aim and all regarding the same amount of autism is launched in October 2015. Wow. Now, 2016 has some parts of what happens to PBS now and what happens to the changes of Sesame Street back in the days of HBO. When the 46th season introduces new changes to the set along with the show's move to the channel, new channel is sorted, half-hour format. New episodes debuted, first run on HBO and the air on PBS the following 9-month window. 2017 came when Sesame Street 47 introduces Julia, a mother with autism, in episode 447-15, and give Abby Cadabby a stepbrother named Ruby in episode 47-31. Animals World returned to reformatted short segments. Sesame Street kicked off its 48th season with the primetime special, The Magical Wand Chase. Now, here's some sad, difficult times in 2018. Now, remix, if you watch this for you. Now, Carol Spinney in 2018, the original performer by Big Burnout Grouch, retires from performing during production of the show's 50th season. Sesame Workshop, and finally Sesame Workshop launches online resources to help children coping from homelessness. The series of videos featuring Lily, the first Sesame Street character who experienced homelessness. There's a lot going on in 2019. Sesame Street coming its 50th season anniversary of the year-long celebration that includes the release of new books and videos, a nationwide road trip, and the primetime television special, which I like. The campaign respects bringing each other launches, teaming the Sesame Street Muppets with characters of Game of Thrones and Westworld to teach the points of respect. Julia's family were previously introduced in a digital storybook, made a first on-screen appearance in a series of resource videos produced for Sesame Street's Autism Native. A Sesame Street themed era opens at SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida. Sesame Workshop announced follow-ups to homelessness resources Curry, a young monster in the care of two foster parents, appears in a series of videos that foster care that premieres in May, with more videos focusing on substance about fall in October. A inspired state building, it's lit in Sesame Street yellow and green on November the 10th, in honor of the show's anniversary. 2 days prior, Big Bird, the original performer Carol Spinney, prepared to flip the ceremonial switch to light the building. Spinney was honored at the New York City Mayoral Proclamation on November 8th as Carol Spinney Day. He died the following next month. Sesame Street received the Kennedy City honor for lifetime artistic achievements, marking the first time a television program has been honored. Wow. Now, I'm going to give you one more thing, and that is 2020. And then we'll do 2 more. 2020, as Sesame Workshop launches Caring for Each Other, an initiative designed to help families during the coronavirus pandemic. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. A combination television special Endless Play Day is someone's on April 14th across social networks. Wow. This is cool. Now we're going to do 2 more, and we're going to get our final thoughts and ratings on this, and we'll wrap things up, okay? Now, rest in peace, Carol Spinney. You're going to be dearly missed by all of us. Now, the story arcs began with a trip to New Mexico trips, okay? Now, Season 7 came out in 1975, days 1 to 6, trip to New Mexico in 1975, then trip to Hawaii on Season 9, 1977 and 1978, when Buffy invites her friends to visit her in Hawaii. Subby is homesick for Hawaii. Big Bird's winning a trip to Hawaii. Big Bird plans to go to Hawaii, preparing for Hawaii. Hawaii stage 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and finally return for Hawaii. It came from when the time my dad was graduating from high school and went to college at the time. Trip to Puerto Rico in 1979, and 6 episodes of filmed on location in St. German. See also Sesame Street in Puerto Rico. I'm not going to click on anything about this in the episode per se, but that's just me, of course. 1 to 6 is all of that Puerto Rico stuff. Camp Eagle Rock was season 14 premiere. Trip to my town, season 23. The invitation, days 1 to 5, and the return. It's all there. Events are A Cold Day in Sesame Street, season 5. Heavy snow falls on Sesame Street. Gobi's Ice Love and Snowball Fight. Maria the Pairs undergo ski. Snow Directions. Also Slippery. Cyrano. Maurice sings Snow. Oh wow. Showing Snow on Sesame Street. Also has a Grouchy winter hat. Building a snowman. Go out for snowballs. Big Bird forgot not to mail a snowball. Oh my god, yeah, not to, yeah. Big Bird looks for coming in the cold. Big Bird and it was make the snow without shoveling. And Oscar's winter hat. This is season 5 of Snow in the Sesame Street. Wow. Big Bird goes to GPE, season 7 and 8. Wow. Big Bird starts night school. Mr. Hooper studied for the exam. Mr. Hooper studies with a friend. And Mr. Hooper graduates from high school. Wow. This is a lot of time when he was educated at the time. Wow. Again with Snow on Sesame Street? Okay. Big Bird makes wooden snowflakes in season 7. Big Bird plans for snow. Freshies fall snow. A Muppet is hired to shovel snow. Big Bird and Snuffy marry Snowman and Snow Patient, and Sesame Street is frozen. And finally, season 11 came in, well, I'm not going to read the rest of the whole episodes of Required Art. It took me a whole time to read that, but that's just me. Tiny Cars, Fix Shop Brigade renewed. Yeah, this will be, regarding plans of Grouch Home is wrecked. Wow. Paying the shop. Luis foreclosed a party for the helpers. Last name from Rabbit Noise. Olivia's movie helped the old shop become new. Wow. Season 13. Cousin visits during a snowstorm. Maria's cousin Mercedes come to visit. Zero the Penguin come to visit. The snowstorm reaches Sesame Street, making deliveries in the blizzard. Big Bird pretends to be a penguin. Pretending penguins. Big Bird's number bring Puerto Rico to Sesame Street. Oh my god. Maurice and Zero head back home. Wow. Luis break his arm in season 16, 1985. Wow. Luis break his arm. Luis deal with his broken arm. Luis is bored with his broken arm. Big Bird helps Luis in his arm. Luis wants to be helpful. Dr. Foster check up his Luis. Luis has been examining the dress. Luis has been blowing up balloons. Wow. Luis has his cast removed. Fresh out of cast. Luis take it slow. Luis Maria Louise adopted a kitten on season 19, 1987. Gina finds a stray kitten. The kitten is named Jetta. Jetta finds a home. Maria Louise have a first date. Wow. Now, here's a lot of it with the whole Maurice getting married in season 19 and 20. I talk about it in the book, but that's just me. Maurice and Mary fall in love. Maurice and Maria love each other very much. Big Bird asks why Maurice and Maria aren't getting married yet. Maurice and Mary decide to get married, pre-wedding party, preparing for the wedding. These are 5 types of honeymoon episodes, by the way. Honeymoon, Maurice and Maria prepare to leave. Honeymoon, Maurice and Maria reach their campsite. Honeymoon, Maurice and Maria get no peace. Honeymoon, Big Bird runs away to Maurice and Maria. Honeymoon, Maurice and Maria return home. Maurice and Maria and Maurice and Maria remain in their wedding. Maurice and Maria celebrate their anniversary. Wow, okay. Season 22, 1991. Rebuilding Hooper's store. Hooper's store is fall apart. Mr. Hamper plans for his new store. Rebuilding Hooper's. Renovations are completed at Hooper's. And finally, Hooper's store grand reopening. And season 22, same season, claim the Valcott lot. Discovered the lot, organizing the cleaning up the lot, planting the garden, and finally, Gordon received an award from the project. Wow. Now, season 24 is a long-distance story between Telly breaks his arm. Now, it's a different story. Telly breaks his arm, Telly visits Dr. Singh, Telly has a cast in his arm, Telly remains active even with a cast in his arm. Telly the broken arm blues. Oscar wants to sign Telly's cast. Telly has his cast removed. And finally, Telly's first day without the cast. Now, the first time I watched Sesame Street was only season 29 and 30. After that, I went to Winston Forest Elementary School at the time. Now, Fly Me to the Moon was one of them. And then here they are. The Moon, Wasa, Launch, The Space Keepers, Solar Crisis, Mrs. Slimy #1, Monster Moon Watch, Man Landing, Slimy's Birthday at the Moon, Mrs. Slimy #2, and finally, Return. Now, the only thing about Return is the last time they're going to see what should I call this? The time of Mr. Hanford and all the good activities. And then around the corner. After that was over, it was Alan's turn. Because Alan, who was played by Alan Marca at the time, he was the only one to do Hooper's store nowadays. That's just me. The Hurricane season 4, and finally Hurricane season 32, and here they are. Preparation, A Nest Destroyed, Memories, Rebuilding, and The Final Twig. Birth and Adoption. Miles' Adoption, Season 17, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. And Miles' first birthday. We got Gabby's Birth, Season 20, 1989. Maria visits the doctor. Maria's mother visits, decorating the baby room. Looking forward to a new baby. Uncle Wally takes care of Maria. Maria goes into labor, and Gabby's birth. Aww. Anyway, Curly Bear's Birth, season 34, and there's another one for season 35, and here they are. Application, just like amputation, yes, for example, Kirby's Birth, and Kirby Comes Home, and finally, Goldilocks and the 4 Bears. Wow. Marco's Adoption, season 47 to 2006. Parts 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That's the final part. But anyway, 2-part, and then finally, we got 2-part stories. New Tree on Sesame Street, season 8, 1976. Building stuff, we were actually knocking down a tree. Street resistance petitions to replace the tree. the Star Wars people visit. Now, C3PO and R2-D2 visits. Season 11, 1980. Bring a message and return. See also beep and I say banana inserts. And season 12, the adult stage officers can spend the night in the can and finally the next morning. And season 13 as follows. Timmy and Oscar at Warm TV, season 13. Timmy works for Warm TV, and Timmy signs on another day at Warm TV programming. Season 14, 1983, has Oscar teach Linda to be grouchy. Wow. Parts 1 and 2. I've never seen the image to be exist in that time. But anyway. Season 28. I mean 18, excuse me, 1987. And then The Best Friends Game. Preparing for The Best Friends Game and appearing on The Best Friends Game. Season 20, 1989. Oscar's Best Pet Seagull, Parts 1 and 2. Season 21, 1990. Miles' First Day at Kindergartens, Parts 1 and 2. Season 21, 1990. Fire at Susan and Gordon's, Parts 1 and 2. Season 22, 1991. Hurricane. Now, same for the season 22 for the hurricane. Prepare for the hurricane, and finally, the aftermath of the hurricane. Now, season 26, 1995, the year I was born, had Gabby the Lost Dog, parts 1 and 2, and season 27, part 1996, had Baby Bear Sleepovers at Gabby's, parts 1 and 2, season 28, 1996, and the Maria's in the hospital. Now, it hurts really bad in parts 1 and 2. Yeah. Season 35 in 2004 had Snuffy's Invisible. Yeah, and don't know what happened in parts 1 and 2. And season 36, 2005 in the Adventures of Bill Big Bird, parts 1 and 2. The Magician's Got Me Him Little, whatever. And finally, Zoe breaks her arm. Wow. 2019, 2020, season 2050. Zoe breaks her arm and finally their days and engineers. Now, what happened to her? I mean, God. Now, I'm going to read one more article, and I'm not going to read the rest of it, just to be clear. And then, all I have to do now is complete it with the whole entire thing. I'm not going to read the whole entire thing, that's just me, but that's just the whole thing, part of the story. Now, the original was on 406, episode 706, and yeah. But anyway, all of these came from over here, and the rest, I'm going to go ahead and read off what is left off, starting with upcoming seasons. You know what? Egg cream. Mr. Hooper's egg cream. Yeah, that's cool enough. Hooper says a broken window. Yeah, I'll pretend I have to stop this, but that's just me. Up until 490 10. Well, yeah, whatever. But anyway. Oh man, I love doing that episode. In any way, shape, or form. But, I don't know what happened to that rerun. Don't know what happened to that rerun at all. Just me. Wall Adventure on Sesame Street. Now, the problem here with Sesame Street is, when they show up the top part of the Sesame Street, there's for the second rerun and the third rerun. Now, what happened here was, it was all that mistake in all the Sesame Street episodes. All of this is going up and down. Now, Bad Boy blackmails Big Bird? What? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and wrap things up. When we come back, we'll get our final rates and turn it up and go up and down some more. once we get done with episode number um 21, I'll finish this book review for the rest of the, and then finish book reviews for the rest of the year. We'll be right back. Oh, man. Welcome back to Book Reviews, episode number 21. I just came back from eating pizza, so what are my final thoughts on Street Gang? Well, it's based on Sesame Street from my childhood, and I would love Sesame Street as a kid. And to be fair, Sesame Street is an all-time favorite show as a kid, and it really was to this day. And to believe it, I love the show, and I really love to see what it is to this day. When it first came out in the 90s, when it first came out in the 60s, and when I first realized it came out in that long, I didn't know it came out. When I first heard about it in the 35th anniversary season, I was only 9. I didn't know what, nearly close to be 9. I didn't know what Sesame Street was in 1969 was about. When they say, Sally, you really love to see what's doing with Sesame Street. Everybody seems to, well, yap. I'm like, freaking out. Before it was like YouTube at the time, in 2006, before it was established by Google. But then 2007 came when I first established LJPCBM. I just ordered Sesame Street Volume 1. Old school, you know? But then Sesame Street Volume 2 came, and I purchased that same copy, you know? I'm like, okay, it was great, but overall it was a great success for Sesame Street's old school days. For me, I really like to see more of Sesame Street, but then I want to show you my brief history of my life with Sesame Street. Okay. Sesame Street, when I first started watching it, it was 1996 or 95. It was a Christmas gift from my mom, telling me I really love to see what was besides from Barney Live in New York City and these two tapes that I have recently, like two tapes like Barney and Babe and Rudolph, the Breaking Bad version on CBS. And to be fair, this one I have gotten from Sony Wonder. It's not been released. It's previously been released by Random House. It's called Animal Sing Along Guessing Game, and it came out in 1991, and it was 4 years prior. It came out in Sony Wonder when it came out in 95. That tape, and that tape was 4 years. The tape Random House was 4 years old when I first born, and I was like, when this tape came out in 95, I figured it was time for us to purchase that tape, and then however when I first heard Big Bird's band plays together was on that tape, I was like, oh no, the right side, the left side, I didn't freak myself out, man. When Zoe's Magic Shoes came along with Big Bird's plays together, yeah, it's all cassette tapes, and it was all-time players on video. But then back in the 90s, late 90s, I watched Sesame Street's latest episodes, followed by some other video cassettes, like The Alphabet Juggle Game and the others. You know, like because I do not want it to count at the time until 1, 2, 3 Count with Me. because I learned the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the time, because I don't know how to count until ABCs. Yeah, they learned I learned the alphabet to A to Z at the time, but in all cases, one of my favorite ones was the Barney's Alphabet Zoo. I was a huge Barney fan per se. Not much I like this one I got today. But then I got the another Sesame Street copy on VHS, which is amazing because I was a technician back then. Which is Elmo, and not really an Elmo VHS tape. It was Elmo's World at the time. I really loved Elmo, but in 2001, but prior to 2001, which I have kids' favorite songs in Scooby-Doo's and Zombie Island. Which, by the way, one of my favorite moments of Sesame Street ever made in Sesame Street history was when they decided to have the Oinker sisters bring up this little pig on the market when I was free, and then when I saw that, I want to hug the lead singer, period, because even though she sings "There's one pig in the market," I was like freaking out. I'm just like, yeah, I want to hug her so bad. Sugi Oinker, come here, you. Love her to death, just even though she was portrayed by Ivy Eisen, who did in the 80s and the early 2010s. That's just me. I really love Ivy because even though she portrayed Sugi Oinker at the time, because in the late 80s and mid 80s, because I'm really portrayed the pigs, and I love pigs. That's why I love pigs, because of Sesame Street, And that's how I love pigs. And when I discovered that Easter Bunny, the bunny came and I hugged her while I was having a daycare center, that was way after I went to school at the time. I discovered that the Easter Bunny, the bunny hugged me, and I found out that Sesame Street came out. But prior to Elmo's World at the time, when I was at Georgetown, I watched most of the tapes from half delayed to Elmo's World. The 50-minute segment, but that's just me. When I purchased Elmo Visits the Firehouse. That's just me. During 9/11, they decided to put Elmo in the firehouse. Which I'll get back to that in another series, which I'll be doing in later years. But right now, it's time for what I'm doing right now. But at the moment, there was Elmo and the fire safety hat. It goes, I can't remember what he's saying at the time, but that's just me. Then in 2004, I stopped, or 2005, whatever, I purchased a lot of DVDs and stopped buying Elmo's World, respectively. Because I really love to buy more Sesame Street rather than just, buy Big Comfy Couch, because, it's one of my childhood favorite shows at the time. But then shows like episodes of Sesame Street, whatever, give me opportunity to branch out with Sesame Street, Barney, and other things. Whatever got up to me to record Toon Disney at the time. And I really got back into that because I really loved Toon Disney. Then in 2006, I got back to watch Sesame Street. And then because of that, I really loved Sesame Street the most. Now, Sesame Street is on YouTube. It was a new site called YouTube. It was there that I watched season 35 closing credits, plus the timeline from each day, whatever. And so I discovered YouTube back in the day, besides in the Smosh days when they lip synced the songs at the time. And I discovered that Teen Titans saw the end episode, part 3. Well, it was part 29's number. I can't remember because someone got suspended from YouTube at the time. That's just me. I don't know who uploaded that, but that was 2006 at the time when I discovered YouTube. Then in 2007, I have in the manage of the Korean YouTube channel, where I discovered YouTube, where I created a YouTube account, and I subscribed to a YouTube user who is a Sesame Street fan, a Marjorie fan, and others, of course, who kept saying, I can't remember his line, but from Willy Wonka, from Gene Wilder, late Gene Wilder, that is. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. But anyway, but until 2019, I just think that the way I thought it was a bad idea for Jonathan, who told me the bandwidth of what happens now with the bands of Disney for owning the Marcy characters, and he said you get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir. I'm like nodding my head, and he banned one of my videos uploaded to Georgia Public Broadcasting, and he just suddenly got mad at me for copyright law school, and then if you watch this Brian Jordan, I'll talk to you about it another time in Random podcast, but that's just me. Then 2009 somebody did a rank video on my own properties. Then in 2010, I watched most of Sesame Street, except for the fact that I recorded the entire Sesame Street, not on this DVR which I'm using now, but on a DirecTV DVR at the time. Then in 2010, I want to record most of the Sesame Street episodes. Sometimes I record the 40th anniversary runs. 2010 was the best year of educational, but sometimes the most unintentional funds. Sometimes my brother Morgan was like, "Oh my God, this is a lot of fun, but you have to excuse me for a moment." And then sometimes it will be like, nodding his head, not gonna tell about not filming, yeah. But that's all bullshit or anything. But that's just me. Then 2000 then years later went by, I discovered that Sesame Street was celebrating its 50th anniversary. Then Carol Spade retired, and I watched HBO, and watching HBO when during that time I was going to be a college student in Westport Winter Springs. And 2016 was the worst year. 2017 was the best year for the company in the 10th anniversary until it shut down with VidMe. Then 2018 came. I discovered that LHBM had its ups and downs with a triumphant year. 2019 was the best year for LHBM on Vimeo, but Internet Archive was its best heights. But it turned to the point where I gotta watch Sesame Street on to TV when I celebrated this 50th year, and then Carol Spade retired in 2018. And I wanted to see his cons during my reaction video of my reaction video to Carol Spade at the time with LGBT, but no, it didn't happen because about months later he passed away suddenly at the age of 85, 86, something like that. I can't remember, but he suddenly passed away, sadly, briefly. But then but in November 2019, they were celebrating Sesame Street's 50th anniversary. Then November 17th, 2019, they celebrated the 50th season of Sesame Street, with the ongoing force until last few weeks ago, because even though Sesame Street celebrated the 50th year, and they want to deal with HBO Max because now with the Not Too Late show with Elmo at the time, and another spin-off which will be coming up called Mecha Builders, and of course another show that's coming out this year special coming out this year called I can't remember, but it's but this year they're coming out with a CNN report called. They already came out with a CNN report called "The ABCs of COVID-19." Not knowing what to say. They're also going to come out with a book, Basics, in 2019, based off of Grover. But that's just me. I want to watch it. That's just me. But then they came out with Helpsters on HBO on Apple TV Plus. And I watched Big Bird on the keynote. I'm like, yay! And I did my head banging horns with my hands in the time, and I'm like, oh my god, this is Big Bird. I love Big Bird and everything else, so that's just me. Without getting out of breath, what do I rate this book? I get the book Street Gang. Let me get back where it came from. Oh, come on, really? I don't want to torn the book. Seriously? You want to do that? No. It's not fair. Just don't do that. Hang on. Natural reading. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're done with this book. Okay. Without verifications, I'm giving this book a 9.5 out of 10. I really love the dedication to Sesame Street, and my childhood is a lifetime achievement, and I really love the book anyway. So I highly recommend you check out the book and give it a go. But anyways, guys, that wraps up a book reviews, episode 21. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next book review episode. I'm not sure what book I'm going to read next. That's coming next year. But for now, I'm doing those reaction episodes. But I need to relax tomorrow and Sunday. Till next time, it's LukeJ62895's. Goodbye. Peace out, baby. We got more book reviews, guys, very soon. Till then, Jefferson out. See ya.